श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री पंचतत्व के जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की मधुसूदन प्रभु का स्वागत। परम सौभाग्य।
Hare Krishna. We welcome Madhusudan Prabhu, and we are extremely fortunate that we all are listening to the pastimes of the 5 elements, that is the Panchatatva. As you might be aware, that these 5 elements are very important, and almost in every disciplic succession and religions, 5 elements are discussed. If we take an example, according to Sanatan Dharma, there are 5 elements, and of them one is Vishnu, and the second is Shivji, and the third is Lord Ganpati, fourth is the sun god or Surya, and the fifth is Durga or Mahamaya. So, without taking or leaving one of these elements, we cannot do the preaching or is not acceptable. And if we look into the Bhakti Marg, that is the yoga of devotional service, it also has 5 elements. First is Sadhu Sangha or devotee association, and without association we cannot perform another devotional service towards the Lord. Then the second is Nam Sankirtan or congregational chanting. Third is Bhagavad Shravan or listening to the Shrimad Bhagavatam. Fourth is Dhamavas, that is to reside in the holy places. And the fifth is to serve the deities of the Lord, that is Archa Vigraha. So these are the 5 elements in Bhakti Marg. So even of Bhog Marg also there are 5 elements. So the first element is pizza, pasta, burger, coke, and coffee. So almost all the religions and the paths to spirituality have 5 elements. But in our Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Dhara, that is our disciplic succession, the 5 elements are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityanand Prabhu, Sri Advait Acharya, Sri Vibhas Pandit, and Sri Gadadhar Pandit. So, in regards to them, Sri Kaviraj Goswami writes beautifully.
एक वस्तु नाही कीचु भेद रस आस्वादिते तभो विविध विभेद जहाँ सभालैया करे प्रेम आस्वादन जहाँ सभालये दान करे न प्रेम धन। पंचतत्व एक वस्तु।
So these 5 elements are non-different. They are the one and the same thing. As we discussed on the first day, so these are one, but ras aswadite tabhu vividha vibhed. So to enjoy the different elements are differentiated or split so that they can enjoy the rasa or the emotion or so which mellow do they want to enjoy? That is the Sankirtan, that is the congregational chanting. So do you know the definition of Sankirtan?
तद्गान सुखम श्री कृष्ण गानम। बहुत सारे लोग मिलकर
So when so many people in happiness and bliss enjoy the chanting of the holy names of Lord Sri Krishna, that is called Sankirtan or congregational chanting. So it cannot be enjoyed alone. So thus these one element is divided into 5 or splits into 5, and then it is added that then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes all these elements together and they all enjoy the loving congregational chanting of the Lord. So in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as congregational chanting or Sankirtan. And in Dwapar, he performed Rasalila as Sri Krishna. So there is no difference between congregational chanting and the rasa dance. And they do not only enjoy themselves, but they also give it freely to others. So we also perform Sankirtan. So if Shyamanand Prabhu is there in Australia, then he does Sankirtan daily in his home. And we also do sometimes on the weekends. But what is the difference between the two? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does this congregational chanting, then he himself is enjoying from his inner self. But we do it to show off or so that others could see us. So if we say in complete honesty, then when we walk, then we are not enjoying the mellows inwardly, but it is more the show off outwardly. So the fundamental goal of this chanting is to enjoy the bliss, and the second is to give it to others. Further, he adds beautifully,
मुद्रा उघाड़िया बहुत बहुत काल से
So
प्रेम
from so much time,
लॉक करके रखा था
the
आप लोग
storage of this love was locked by the Lord, as you people usually keep all your opulence and wealth
किसी को दिखाते भी नहीं
in storage. Forget about giving to others, you don't even want to show it to others. But the Lord says that the Lord has kept this wealth of His love very safely guarded.
इस पृथ्वी पर
But
मुद्रा उघाड़िया
when He manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with His elements, then He opened all this, the doors of this wealth, and they, five elements, started to enjoy the bliss of this love towards the Lord, and they started distributing it freely to others as well. So, in this world, when we eat or drink something, then we get fulfilled or satiated after some time. But the bliss of this congregational chanting is thus that the more they sat, they drank it, the more and more they got more desire to drink it more. As you all also, when you started listening Shrimad Bhagavatam Kathas, gradually you have become more and more inquisitive, or you have more desire to listen. And what more they did. So what do these five elements did? What did these five elements do? So they didn't even bothered whether the person is qualified or not. Patra apatra means a person who is qualified or not, whether he belongs to some particular caste or not, and whether the place was appropriate or not. Sthan means any place. So when you come for the yatra with us, wherever the train stops or halts, there devotees start congregational chanting or sankirtan. So without consideration of the qualification or the place, they went to such places, and whoever had this desire, this congregational chanting was given to them freely. They used to use it, and they started distributing it freely. So the love of towards Krishna, which was safely kept, has been freely distributed and enjoyed. And although the opulence of this world is temporary, or you might lose it, or if you distribute, then it will finish. But if you share it with others, then it increases manifold. So it is eternal, and that is why it never finishes, it manifests more and more. And when they used to go out for congregational chanting or sankirtana, some people used to run away, and some others would bow down at their lotus feet. And once they met a laundryman, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I just beg to you that please say Harin Bol, and he didn't. He didn't do that, and then he replied that if I chant, then who will do my work? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I will do your work, but you just chant. So the laundryman said that you first wash my clothes, only then I will chant. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started so he started cleaning the clothes, and he said Haribol, and as soon as he said Haribol, the laundryman was embraced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the flow of energy of this transcendental love was shared to him. And when his wife came, and when she saw her husband dancing, she touched her husband, and thus this love was passed on, so on and so on, by just touching each other. And by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, villages after villages became devotees of the Lord. Now, what happened? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had almost made the whole world devotee, but there were some people, after seeing the symptoms of ecstasy or the mood of Srimati Radharani in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, people started created offenses towards him, and he thought that I am here to give my mercy to them, and if they offend me, then they will be forced to go to the lower planetary systems. It will not be for their benefit. So, so to avoid them committing these offenses, finally he took the decision that he will live a life of celibacy. He took sannyas so that these people don't offend him and respect him and get the transcendental love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to roam as a celibate or a sannyasi and roamed throughout the country. And one day he reached Kashi. Kaviraj Goswami describes in Kashi there was another sannyasi whose name was Prakashanand Saraswati, who had many disciples, and his spiritual master was Keshav Bharati. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also had taken the vow of celibacy from the same spiritual master, Keshav Bharati. So Prakashanand Saraswati was sitting in his assembly, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that he is my god brother, and he went there and sat amongst the commoners, and then Prakashanand Saraswati called him and told him very beautifully, you can see here in the verse.
प्रकाशानंद सरस्वती कहते हैं कि तुम सन्यासी होकर
Prakashanand Saraswati says that you are a sannyasi, you're living a celibate life, and you are dancing like a madman. Is it appropriate for your ashram? He said that to read the Vedas and to distribute the transcendental knowledge of Vedas, that is the goal of a celibate or a sannyasi. And this is just dancing and chanting is mere sentimentalism. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beautifully replies, he says that I dance and I sing. The reason is because I went to our spiritual master, Keshav Bharti, and I told him that you teach me Vedas and the Vedic scriptures. And when he realized that I am a fool, and they instructed me that you are a fool, that is why you're not eligible to read Vedas or Vedic scriptures because you won't be able to understand them. So you do one thing. There is one conclusion or essence of Vedas, that is the chanting of the holy names, that is Krishna Nam. That is why the conclusion is that you should chant the holy names of the Lord. So if you follow the conclusion, then what is the need of reading the scriptures? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adds the verse in front of your screen. He says that by hearing that, I started chanting the holy names of the Lord, and by just chanting the holy names, my heart became so by just chanting the holy names, my heart was pacified or became peaceful, and Dharya Karibe mean when I lost control and I started dancing like a mad elephant. I started dancing, laughing, and singing, and I started working like a fool. Then I thought or contemplated. So I contemplated, and then I went to my spiritual master and I complained that what kind of mantra have you given me, that it is so powerful. This mantra is so powerful that by just chanting it more and more, I'm losing my mind. So he says that this mantra sometimes make me distressed or sad. Sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm ecstatic, blissful. And when I told this to my spiritual master, then my spiritual master replied, he said, Krishna Nama Mahamantra Eita Swabha. He said that whatever is happening in your life, that is the nature of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Jai Japetare Krishna Upjai Bha. So the more a person chants, the more he develops mellows towards the Lord. Krishna Vishek Prema. So to have such mellows, to sometimes sing, dance, or cry, this kind of mellow is so potent, and the other four pillars of religiosity, that is religion, calm, that is work, earth, that is wealth, and moksha, that is liberation, all become futile or are negligible in comparison to these mellows. So the mellows that is enjoyed By this love towards the Lord is so potent, the drop of that is even greater than the four pillars of Vedic religion. So the people who chant the glories of the Lord, that is, chant the holy names of the Lord,
से गाड़ी बंगले की
and
याचना करो, ये घाटे
if you chant the holy names of the Lord, its fruit is the unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord or love towards the Godhead. And if you desire wealth or some material opulence and benefit, then it is stupidity. So, oh Prakashananji, because my spiritual master has instructed me, that is why I am doing it. And by hearing this, Prakashanand Saraswati, who was a Mayavadi, he became a great devotee of the Lord. So this is the introduction of the Panchatatva. In this manner, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the holy names of the Lord to the whole world for the welfare of the humanity and mankind in whole or at large. How he did it? So from Mathura, he sent Rup and Sanatan Goswami to Mathura, and these two warriors of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they preached the whole UP and Bihar in great number. And then it is mentioned there where they have sent the 5 elements or Panchatattva. Nityanand Gosai Pathaile Gaura Deshe. That means Nityanand Prabhu was sent to Bengal, that is Gaura Desh. So he was sent to Bengal, and while Rup Sanatan was sent to UP Bihar, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself went to the south of India, and there he went to each and every village and started preaching the holy names of the Lord. Setubandh, that is Rameshwar, and till the shores of Rameshwar, the names of the Lord were chanted. So from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the holy names of the Lords were preached or spread by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all these Panchatattvas or 5 elements. And these five elements or Panchatattvas we are discussing, and people who listen to the 5 elements pastimes will get the transcendental knowledge of or about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are listening to the glories of the 5 elements of Panchatattva. So today, under that, we are going to discuss about Srivas Pandit. So let's do Sankirtan, and with congregational chanting, we will reside in Srivas Angan, that is the home of Srivas Pandit, and then we will proceed further in the pastimes of the Lord.
जय जय नवला किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the loving devotees of Shrimad Bhagavatam. I welcome all the devotees who have gathered here in this assembly. In particular, I want to extend my warm welcome to the senior devotees of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, Iskcon. I also welcome all of you who have gathered through all the parts of the world through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc. All who are listening to this Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha, that is all the listeners, and in particular the organizers of this beautiful Katha, the denizens of UK, the Vadukul family, which we have Bharat Bhai, Nain Manjuri Mataji, Vidur Prabhu, Vidurani Mataji, Kirit Bhai, Renuka Mata, and all the kids of the family, in memory of Jivan Jadavji Vadukul and Maniben Mataji, Reverie, Sri Panchatatva Bhagvat Katha. We are listening and we are on the 6th day. So I welcome you all and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
श्रीमद् भागवत पंचतत्व
Srimad Bhagavatam Panchatatva.
चतुर्थ तत्व
Today
श्रीवास पंडित
we are going to listen about the fourth element, that is Srivas Pandit,
जैसे द्वापर युग में
about whom we are going to discuss, as in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna performed most of his pastimes in the home of Nand Baba's home. Similarly, when the same Krishna manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes in the home of Srivas Acharya. The Dwapar's Nand Angan, or the home of Nand Baba, is equivalent or is similar to the Kali Yuga's Srivas Angan, that is the home of Srivas Pandit, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed all his pastimes. According to the elements, he is the devotee form of the Lord. So when we speak the mantra, that is a Panchatatva mantra or the 5 elements mantra, then Shivaji is referred at the end. But in Chaitanya Charitamrut, where the 5 elements or Panchatattvas are venerated, so here Srivasji is mentioned at the position 4. But sometimes some people might be confused that today we should be discussing Srivas Panditji, but because you all are advanced listeners, so So these two are the mantras for venerating both the mantras, and they, in one place, Srivas Pandit is mentioned at last and the other at the fourth. So anyways, we are going to listen about both of them. So Srivas Pandit is the element of a devotee, and Sri Narad Muni himself manifested as or appeared as Narad Muni in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Pandit earlier used to be Narad Muni, is mentioned in our scriptures. And who is Narad Muni? He is the incarnation of the Lord's heart and his potency, that is Shakti. And he understands and fulfills the desire of the Lord. And sometimes his work is very hard to understand, but whatever he does it only on behest of the Lord's desire and for the happiness of the Lord. We are extremely fortunate that we are in the disciplic succession that is as pure as river Ganga, and our fundamental spiritual master is Sri Narad Muni himself. So in this disciplic succession, the transcendental knowledge was shared from Lord Sri Krishna to Brahma, and from Brahmaji to Narad, and so on and so forth. So he is our Acharya as well. And as he is Acharya in our disciplic succession, therefore he had taught us 5 things for humanity at large. And these 5 things we should all imbibe and sustain in our life. And what are these 5 things? Are discussed in this verse in front of your screen.
Manuj Shyamam Sada Chintaya Vasam Svikurudham Nisakta Manasa Vandasvada Modaram Tarhi Prapsyasi Te Swarupamiti Dattayena Siksha Pura Vitendratmajayo Vitarakam Kamaham Shri Naradam Tam Bhaje Shri Naradam Tam Bhaje. नारद जी के विषय में कितनी बार सुना?
So we have heard so many times about Narad ji, but you might be seeing this verse for the very first time. It is mentioned, Shri Naradam Tam Bhaje. We venerate or follow Narad Muni. Which Narad Muni? The Narad Muni who gave us or who told us to do 5 things. So let me remind you one more time that he is our Acharya or spiritual master. And what are the 5 things he mentions? It is a very beautiful verse. So, first of all, if you see the fourth word in the first line, Manuj, Manujam. So, Manu means Manu and Ja means to take birth. So, people who have been born by Manu, so all of us who were born through Manu is considered to be Manushya or human or man. So Narad Muni says that there are five things or five responsibilities for a man, and the first and foremost is Prarabdham Sakalam Sahasva. This is one thing that we should imbibe in our life. So, whatever is there in our destiny or providence that we have to suffer, or so first is our karma, that is work, and the other is our providence. So we can nullify our bad karmas by performing devotional service, but we still have to suffer the consequences of our providence or prabdh or destiny. So, had you told them when you're flying, if you tell them that beforehand that you are going for vegetarian meal, then whatever you have told them or mentioned, the, so that food will be offered to you. Once the flight takes off, then whatever has been written in front of your name will be offered to you. So that is parab. So these are the providence that has already taken shape, and we have to suffer them. So you might question that, then what is the benefit of performing another devotional service towards the Lord? So they also will suffer the consequences of their providence, but at the same time, they will be untouched or undistressed by them. So, for example, if you are standing with an umbrella under in the rain, then you won't get wet. So, first of all, Narad Muni has said that whatever is there in our providence, we will have to tolerate that, and we should tolerate that. Sahasva means to tolerate them. So don't try to change them. So whatever is there in our destiny to have the spouse or the situation where we are, that we should tolerate. We should not try to change that and perform devotional service towards the Lord. So, whatever is there in our providence, we will have to tolerate that. But that doesn't mean that we will be only suffering in our providence. It could be happiness also. So, when I do, when I go to take to do the Bhagavatam Katha, I have this principle that I will eat once, but sometimes we are invited in so many places that I have to eat at 10 places. And sometimes there are so situation that when we fly, sometimes we don't even get anything to eat. So that is prarabdh or providence. So whatever situation the Lord keeps us, we should live in that. So the first and foremost thing is So these principles are for Manujam, that is humanity or mankind at large. So first of all, we should tolerate all our providence. Second, Shyamam Sada Chintaya. So while tolerating our providence, always we should remember the Lord in our heart. We should always remember Him. First, this is very strict. There are only two options. First, either we should remember the Lord constantly, or we can get worried about the whole material world. So, what do you desire or would like to choose? So, it is mentioned that if you are not cautious, then there will be accident. Similarly, if we don't focus our mind on remembering the Lord, then we won't be worried or anxious. But as soon as we stop thinking or contemplating on the Lord, then we will get anxious and worried. So the third point is mentioned Vasam Swikuru Dhamni. Vasa means to reside. Swikuru means to accept. And Dhamni means holy place. So we should accept the place where the Lord has performed his pastime, that is the holy places like Sri Rangam, Brindavan, Mathura, etc. So there is a difference between Tirth and Dham. Tirth is a place where the Lord had performed his pastimes, where he had killed or give benediction, boon, or darshan. So these all places are called or referred as Tirth. But Dham is the eternal abode of the Lord, where the Lord resides eternally. Example, Braj Vrindavan, where the Lord resides eternally. So therefore we should accept to stay in Braj Vrindavan. And the fourth thing he adds is Sapta Manasa. Sakta Mansa. Sakta means to attach, Mansa means to the heart. So we should attach our heart in the Lord. And till the point we are attached to the Lord, we will never be detached from this material world. So still now we have discussed four. So the fifth he says is Vandasva Damodaram, that we should bow down or venerate Damodar. So the Lord loves sandalwood, that is Chandan, and Vandan, that is veneration. Both are liked by the Lord. So we should always venerate him. So these are the five things that Narad Muni has told mankind to do. And when we will do this, what will happen is mentioned in the third line. Tahe prapyasti te swarupam iti. So we all are part and parcel of the Lord, and because of that, we all are related to Him. And according to our relationship with Him, we have some form which we have forgotten, and we are entrapped and entangled in this material universe. But when we do all these five things, then we will achieve our original form. And that is what Narad Muni has educated or taught us. Vitendriya Atmajayo, and through whose medium had he given this education to us? Vit means money or wealth. Indra means the king. So, who is the king of wealth? That is Kubera. Atmaj means son. That means the sons of Kuber, Nal Kuber and Manigriv. This philosophy was taught to them both, and because of that, they got liberation of, were benefited by Lord Sri Krishna himself. And if we imbibe all these five things in our life, then Krishna himself will relieve us of this bondage of material universe. And such Narad Muni we venerate. This is the glory of Narad Muni and his teaching. And whoever has got achieved, met Narad Muni, then his welfare is all decided or successful. He will be always successful. And similarly, Naradji is in our disciplic succession, so will be successful. And he himself has appeared as Srivas Pandit. So there is a beautiful pastime in Shrimad Bhagavatam where 20 amongst 20,000 kings, Krishna had been venerated as the Lord. And to accommodate 20,000 people, they require so much. So there was a great assembly, and there the self-righteous king Yudhishthir asked Narad Muni about the rules and regulations for householders. Then Narad Muni replies beautifully the verse in front of your screen. I'm telling this because this is the foundation of Srivas Pandit. When Naradji, he said he was a celibate himself, he was a brahmachari, and he told this philosophy to King Yudhishthir. He said that the householders should stay in their household life, but along with that, they should fulfill all the responsibilities of a householder, and all their work should be offered to Lord Sri Krishna. And the best thing for householders is to associate with great devotees or Mahamuni. So we all are devotees. So for us, biggest so, so the biggest task for householders is to associate with sadhu sant, that is the celibate brahmachari sannyasis, etc., who had renounced, because we are not able to renounce ourselves, but if we serve them, we will get some benefit by serving them. We will get some renunciation and detachment if we serve them. So I request you all that if you accept me and you want to imbibe what I say in your life, then for householders, as a householder, we should invite the exalted devotees of the Lord, that is celebrate, and then what we should do, rather than telling our troubles and problems, we should listen from them. What should we listen from them? We should listen about the glories of the Lord. And what we should listen? That is the pastimes of his incarnations. And how many times we should listen? Abhikshana means again and again we should listen to the glories of the Lord through the mouth of exalted devotees, celibates, ascetics, etc. So beautifully he told what a householder should do, and gradually they should be detached from this material world. In this, whatever opulence they get, it should be used in service of the sages and saints and aesthetics. So in Srimad Bhagavatam's, Narad Muni has told about householders. Similarly, the same thing when he appeared as Srivas Pandit, he portrayed it in his life when he appeared as Srivas Pandit in Kali Yuga. So if you see or compare from whatever he has said in Srimad Bhagavatam, he has portrayed in Kali Yuga in his life as Srivas Pandit. So he is the fourth or the fifth element of the five elements. So as we have heard yesterday, that Advait Acharya played a great role to manifest the Lord in Kali Yuga, and the second effort was of Sri Srivas Pandit. After the request of repeated request of Srivas Pandit, he, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested. It is mentioned when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, that we heard yesterday. When he saw this beautiful child, he started singing Bhishma Stuti.
वितृष्णा भगवती सात्वत पुंगवे विभूम्ने स्वसुखमुपगते क्वचिद्विहरतुं प्रकृतिमुपेयुषि यद्भव प्रवाह। इस प्रकार महाप्रभु के जन्म के समय श्रीवास पंडित
At the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth, Srivas Pandit was singing Bhishma Stuti. Jagannath Mishra said that, "What are you singing?" And Srivas Pandit said, "Oh, my dear, your son is not any ordinary human being. He is the Lord Himself. And by seeing Him, automatically I am speaking the veneration from Shrimad Bhagavatam." So Srivas Pandit is the one who sang these stutis or venerations. And for your information, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the happiness and bliss that he has given to Srivas Pandit of his childhood is far greater than what he gave to his own father and mother, Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. It is said that Mahaprabhu, when he used to play, he Rather than going to his home, he used to go to Srivas Pandit's home, and his wife Malini Devi used to offer him food and toys. And sometimes when he used to perform, and he used to run away to Srivas Pandit's home when his mother was used to be upset from him. So see, in this manner, he used to reside in Srivas Pandit's home. Mahaprabhu's elder brother, whose name was Vishwarup. So when Vishwarup died, after that, after his son's death, that is the elder brother Vishwarup died, and his mistress, distress and separation, he was suffering, and in that separation, Jagannath Mishra, the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, left for this material world. And when he was at his deathbed, while he was there on his deathbed, he called Srivas Pandit and requested him that I am leaving, but my only son is survived, so I give the whole responsibility of my son Nimai to you. You please take care of my son Nimai. Please educate him appropriately. Give him good education and etiquettes. You raise him like your own son. Saying this to Srivas Pandit, he left this material world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu married, and when his father died, to perform veneration for his father, he went to Gaya Ji. And before that, he had performed so many pastimes of Nimai as a child. But as he went to Gaya Ji, and on the way when he went to Kenai, Natisthal, these two places manifested the bhav or the mood of Srimati Radharani that was hidden in his heart. So, in the journey towards Gayachi, he saw Lord Vishnu and he heard Gopi Geet and he met Ishwar Puri and he took initiation from him. He went as Nimai, but he came as with mood of Radharani with mellows filled heart he came or returned back to Navdvip, and he used to cry vehemently, constantly in separation with Radha and Krishna, addressing them as Radha or Krishna. He used to focus so much on them that he used to become unconscious. His mother Shachimata used to call doctors and Ayurvedic practitioners, etc., to measure them. They said that his body has heated, so don't offer him warm food. So, what all these educated will understand that this person is suffering from the mellows of separation with the Lord. So after so much effort, when he didn't recover, Srivas Pandit came to Shachimata and said that please don't worry, your son Nimai is not diseased. He is not ill. So she said that, what is it then? He cries and he becomes unconscious. He says that your son's heart is filled with the mood of ecstasy, which even great personalities desire, and they constantly perform austerity to get the same or mellow. Your son has attained that. Shachi said that he becomes unconscious. Just find a solution for that. Srivas Pandit says that the only solution is what? He said that you should send him to my home regularly, and we will perform congregational chanting, and by that he will become cured. And it is true, when we do remember the holy names of the Lord, or we chant the holy names of the Lord, then only we can be relieved of this mood of separation. So Srivas Pandit used to invite devotees of the Lord, and they started doing or performing congregational chanting of the Lord. And they used to perform it the whole night. And they used to do throughout the night. So when they're awake the whole night, then next day they will need to sleep the next day. But although they used to do the congregational chanting in the day, they used to perform their activities and duties, and then again in the evening they used to do congregational chanting. So what chanting used to happen in Srivas Pandit's home was not ordinary, it was extraordinary. It is a great philosophical point of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu which we should understand. He says, when we go out in front of materialist people or general public, then we should do Nam Sankirtan, that is congregational chanting of the holy names. But when we are with the internal exalted devotees of the Lord, with them we should enjoy the mellows of the bhakti, that is devotional service. And first of all, it is not possible to enjoy the mellows cannot be enjoyed with materialists. And if even one person comes who is not in the same bhava or mood, then the essence will be destroyed. So, so they used to perform Sankirtan at Srivas Pandit's home, and they didn't invited everyone but of only a few people, and others were not permitted. And in those days as well, there, there were people who were criticizing the same. They used to think that throughout the night they have closed their doors of their home by listening that, that they will criticize, so let's open the door. And when they opened the door, then they started criticizing us, saying that throughout the night they do Sankirtan. So they were bewildered in both the situations. So if they open, then they say that they are disturbing us, and if they close, then they say that well, don't what they are doing. They don't. They said that they don't allow us to eat, sleep, or rest. So there was a person who was demonic, who was so much envious of the Lord. So there is one point I want to add here. Who will be envious of us? If you understand that someone is criticizing me or envious of us, so we should understand one philosophical point. I have contemplated and realized that people will be envious or criticize only people who are greater than us. Nobody is envious of person who is smaller than us. So a person who criticizes us or refutes us, criticizes us, that means that in his heart or mind he thinks that we are greater than him. Because a person who is greater, only then that person is criticized. So a person who is at a higher level will be criticized, but a person who is already on the lower level cannot be, cannot fail. So they used to close the doors and do the Sankirtan. So, so what they used to do is they used to leave the bones, etc., at the front of the door. And they said that they were doing the black magic, etc., in their homes, and we should stop them. So, in this manner, they try to stop the congregational chanting or Sankirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't stop. Constantly, they used to do the chanting or congregational chanting. And one time it so happened, this person, Chapal Gopal, complained to a Muslim, and when everybody left for their homes after the chanting, so this Muslim person came to Srivas, that he said that you disturb others by chanting. So from tomorrow you should not do it. Otherwise, I will break all your instruments and I will come with my army and punish you all. And I've heard that Nimai is with you. I will punish him. And he said so many bad things. He bowed bad mouth against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srivas Pandit was not worried about himself, but he was worried about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that for if something happens to him, then what will happen? So Srivas Pandit came to his home and started praying to Narsingh Dev Bhagwan and venerating him. And once they started praying him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at his home, and when he realized that this Muslim has scared Srivas Pandit, so although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the role of a devotee, but as Muslim has scared his devotee to stop this Sankirtan movement, then his mellow of Narsingh Dev manifested, and he took the ferocious form and went to Srivas Pandit's home, and where he was praying Narsingh Dev, he sat there in the temple where they were venerating Narsingh Dev. And when Srivas Pandit saw this, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken the form of Narsingh Dev, he started singing the praises of Narsingh Bhagwan.
Gaya Prahlad Lad Daine Hiranya Kashipurvakshaha Shilatankan Kalaye. आप देख सकते हैं चैतन्य महाप्रभु का घर, श्रीवास पंडित का घर, महाप्रभु.
You can see the home of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srivas Pandit, and he took the ferocious form and came to Srivas Pandit's home, and he sat in the temple of Srivas Pandit.
Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narsinghamadim Sharanam Prapate Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakha Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hirana Kashipu Tanu Vringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev 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 इस प्रकार
So in this manner, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the ferocious form of Narsinghdev, and seeing his ferocity, Srivas Pandit started venerating him. He started bringing pots of water and he started putting that water on his head so that he could be pacified. So the situation was that Srivas Pandit is standing and he's putting water. His wife Malini was bringing water, and she had a maid servant, and she was also bringing the water and putting on the lot. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was agitated, and in that form told Srivas, who is this girl who is bringing this water? He said that she's a maidservant. So he said that what is her name? He said her name was Dukhi. She was in actuality also distressed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, a person who serves my devotee can never be distressed. So you tell her that she should put this water on my head on her own. So when she put this water from the lake on the head of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in the form of Narsinghadev, and she venerated him, as soon as she did that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that you will never suffer any distress in your life, and from now on you are not Dukhi or distressed, but your name is Sukhi, that is happy. So I just want to add that if there is a veneration of the Lord going on, or Abhishekam, then if we do the same, then all our distresses will be removed.
Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj उग्र स्वरूप धारण किए हुए श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं, श्रीवास,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ferocious form told Srivas, he said that why were you venerating Narsingh Dev? So Srivas told that he was he was vis- he had a visitor who was a Muslim and he had threatened him with dire consequences. And I was worried, so that is why I was venerating him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I'm not here to kill, but let him bring his army, and if he comes here to stop our congregational chanting, then I will just tell him one thing. If your religion is truthful, then all the humans and animals are with you. You should tell them to speak the glories of the Lord. And if our religion is truthful, then I will make all of them to speak the glories of the Lord. So he said that you should keep faith in me. Who is this girl? He said that she is my niece whose name is Narayani. He said that why doesn't she says anything? He said that she is mute since her birth and her father is no more, so she doesn't speak. So he said that just send her to me. And when this Narayani came nearer to the Lord and he touched her and he said that speak Haribol, just by the touch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the transcendental love towards the Lord was transferred to Narayani and she started singing the glories of the Lord. And her heart was filled with the unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhava Hari Hari Bol. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने उस छोटी सी कन्या को स्पर्श क्या किया?
By just the touch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this girl who was mute started singing and dancing. And the wonder was that this Narayani, when she got married, her son was Sri Vrindavan Thakur, who was the incarnation of Vedvyas himself.
भगत जनों का परम सहारा, नाम की महिमा है अनमोल, नाम की महिमा है अनमोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। श्री नरसिंह देव भगवान की, श्री शिवासांगन की, श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। इस प्रकार श्री चैतन्य
In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relieved Srivas Pandit of his anxiety and distress. And in the form of nursing Dev, he told him, you need not to worry. And if someone comes here, if I can make the mute speak, then all these animals also will sing the glories of the Lord. And in this manner, he took the form of nursing Dev and relieved Srivas Pandit of his anxiety. There is a philosophical point of Vedic scriptures that when we listen to the glories of the Lord, then we should listen to a person who is in the similar mood. And if you want to enjoy the mellows of speaking the glories of the Lord, then it should also be with the similar devotees. And we are in this field, so we enjoy it. Sometimes, even if one devotee is devoid of mood or mellows, then and sits, then that link gets broken. Therefore, the listeners, even if there is one single listener like that, then all that mellow or mood is destroyed. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, we got to understand this. Once, what happened? There was daily kirtan in Srivas Pandit's home, and in evening there was a secretive congregational chanting. And one day Srivas Pandit's mother-in-law came and said that I want to participate in the confidential congregational chanting that you perform. Srivas' mother, wife said, oh mother, this is a confidential congregational chanting, so you cannot enter. She said, why I cannot enter? I am your mother and mother-in-law of your husband, Srivas. So she replies beautifully that a person doesn't considers relationship, caste, etc. But a person who is a devotee of the Lord can only chant the glories of the Lord. So, she was refused by her daughter and her son-in-law. So once a person was so much distressed, he said that what is the meaning of such? He said that when the dinosaurs got extinct, then only the mother-in-laws appeared. So how much he might have been troubled by his mother-in-law. So she, this woman, she thought that they're refusing me. So in the, she thought that there was a basket in the pantry, and she went there and she sat there without taking the permission of Srivas and his wife, her daughter. And when it was night, Mahaprabhu arrived, and all the five elements and all the devotees, exalted devotees came, and they started performing this kirtan. And when it started, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing the kirtan, he's not enjoying the bliss that he usually enjoys. He told Srivas that there is something that is missing. He said, I'm not enjoying. So he said that everything is fine. He said, no, something is missing. So after some 1.5 hours, they pulled her out, and then they realized that because of her, they were not enjoying. So there is a great learning for us here. If we associate with a gambler or an intoxicated person for a while, it will not be as dangerous as it is dangerous to associate with unmellowful, unfaithful devotees is very, very dangerous. A alcoholic, we can understand that he is doing something wrong. And if you are from a great family, you know in your heart that if you're drinking alcohol, it is not right. That association is not that dangerous, but in devotee circles, if you associate with devotees who are don't have who are devoid of faith or are devoid of mellows, we should try to keep a safe distance from them. They might be near you as well. So this is what he has taught us through his or portrayed through his own behavior and pastimes. So Srivas Pandit daily used to organize such congregational chanting and offer prasadam to all the devotees. Although he was not very opulent or affluent, he was from an ordinary family. And one day it so happened that when the kirtan was concluded and it was morning and everybody was leaving for their home or they left for their home, then he was sitting, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting with Srivas Pandit. He said that you whole night you perform congregational chanting and in the morning you serve Nityanand Prabhu. As you heard in the second day, Nityanand Prabhu when came to Mayapur and he said that who will keep Nityanand Prabhu in their home and Srivas Pandit has taken the responsibility to take care of Nityanand Prabhu. So till that point, Nityanand Prabhu was in Mayapur. He used to stay in Srivas Pandit's home, and all the pastimes of Nityanand Prabhu too were performed in his home. So he asked, "How do you manage your household? Because throughout the night you participate in congregational chanting, and the day you serve Nityanand Prabhu. So how do you take care of your household? How do you manage that?" Then Srivas Pandit replied, "O Lord,
सब काम हो रहा है मेरा यापकी कृपा से। पता नहीं आज गाने का मन बड़ा कर रहा है। तो मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है, करते हो तुम कन्हैया मेरा तो बस
so
नाम
he
हो
said
रहा
that by your mercy everything is happening by your desire and will.
और भजन गाना सुनना ये ठीक है, कुछ प्रैक्टिकल तो होना चाहिए।
But you should tell me something practical. How do you manage your household? So let me show you the verse here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked,
प्रभु विश्वम्भर, विश्वम्भर श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु,
so Vishwambar, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, started testing Srivas Pandit. And while testing him, he said that whole night you perform congregational chanting. Let's do the chanting in someone's home, other's home. And, and Nityanand Prabhu is at your home. You should send him also to someone else's home. And you don't even know that which caste or system he belongs to. So you should remove him. Then Srivas Pandit replies beautifully in this verse he says that even Nityanand is extremely pure, and Yavani means English. If he is intoxicated, or if he gets intoxicated by drinking the English liquor, and he destroys my position, my life, and my money, still in my heart, I will never have anything, any bad feelings for him in my heart. So, oh Lord, you should not worry. I have great allegiance and faith towards him. And about the congregational chanting, it is my bliss. So you should for sure do this chanting here. And in this manner, he served the sages and saints, and he bec- performed congregational chanting, and because of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was extremely satisfied with him, and he gave him the benediction. He told him that even the goddess of fortune might have to beg for charity, but you will never suffer any shortage or poverty in your life. You, your wife, you, and your family will be liberated. Even the dog at your home will be liberated. Even the insects will reach my eternal abode because they reside in your home. And that is how much I love you. The Lord loves such devotee who performs Sankirtan or serves the sages and saints at their home. So daily they used to perform congregational chanting at Shiva's home. And one time it so happened that he had a son who was not well since quite a few days. He was being treated by Ayurvedic practitioners, and Shiva's Pandit was told that your son is not well, so we can do it somewhere else. He said, no, don't worry, we will do it here. The son was sleeping inside, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and they started chanting the glories of the Lord. And Srivas Pandit was offering him with a fan, and Malini Devi signaled him and called him inside. He, w- he gave his service to someone else, and he went inside the room. And Malini Devi started crying. He said, what happened? She said that we have lost our son. Shiva said, don't speak loudly. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is engaged in blissful ecstasy of Sankirtan, and by listening to that, his mood and mellow will be destroyed. And on the bliss of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can offer not only one son but thousands of sons for him. In this manner, he pacified his life. He said that let's first conclude the kirtan. And Srivas came out and he started fanning the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the kirtan again. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows everything. He's the knower of everything. So he said that today I'm not enjoying. So he said, is there any problem? He said, no, there is no problem. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was persistent that no, there is something wrong. He said, where is your son? Srivas Pandit said that he's sleeping inside. You carry on. He said that, no, I want to see your son. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went inside to see his son. And he saw the son of Srivas Pandit dead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eyes were filled with tears. He said that, Srivas, how much you love me, that your son is no more or has left, and you are not telling us, and you're not stopping our Sankirtan. You don't worry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the son in his hands and he said in his ear, and that son revived and stood up and started chanting Harinam. And he said that, oh son, where have you went? Or where did you go? He said that the abode, the associates of the eternal abode of the Lord came, and while listening to the kirtan, I left my body. So the eternal associates of the Lord came. I was going to go eternal abode of the Lord, but by the time I could reach there, you called me back. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at the face of Srivas Pandit and Malini. The, what do you want? If you wish, you can keep him here. Srivas Pandit and Malini Devi said, we are not attached to him anymore. If he's going to the eternal abode of the Lord, why should we stop him? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this boy that you're so small, I can let you live for more time. But Srivas Pandit's son was intelligent. As Jatayu on the lap of Lord Sri Ram and Bali on Bal, Ramji said that you both stay, I will revive you and give your life back. The Bali in Kashkinda and Jatayu said the same thing.
जतन कराई अंतराम कहीं आवत नाही ममलोचन गो चर सोहियावा बहुरी की प्रभु यस बीन ही बनावा। प्रभु आप मेरे आंखों के सामने हो।
So this said that oh Lord, you are in front of our eyes. By seeing you, we are leaving our body. While venerating you, while remembering you, in front of you, I am leaving this life, and I will be venerated or cremated by you, which was not given even to your own father, Dashrath. So if I ask you life, then I will be a fool. No one would be a greater fool than me, because great sages and saints try birth after birth just to remember your name on in their mouth, but the same Lord Ram is standing in front of our eyes. So Shiva's son said the same, that what great sages and saints don't get, I am getting that benefit. The Lord himself is standing and I am leaving for the eternal abode of the Lord. So I don't want to live here anymore. And by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shiva's son went to the eternal abode of the Lord. And in this manner, Shivas had so much mellow and moon allegiance towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he performed such a beautiful devotional service towards him. It is mentioned that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the vow of a celibate life, and he used to walk from Navdev to Jagannath Puri and take all the food preparations to give to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or to offer to him. So if we want Ram to manifest, then we need a place like Chitrakoot. And if we want Krishna or Radha in our heart, then we have to make our heart Vrindavan. And if we want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to manifest in our heart, then we need to make our heart to be Srivas Angan, the veranda of Srivas home. And we should always constantly remember and sing the glories of the Lord. So in the fourth canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, it is beautifully mentioned that although we reside in the householder life, and there are so many types of responsibilities, and there are so many types of offenses as well, but still, if a person is expert in householder life, and what is the expertise? We have to imbibe, that is Mamavarta Matayananam. That means even if we are in householder life, the Lord Himself says that if someone listens to my pastimes, na, then na bandhaya, then he will never be entangled in the household or this material universe. He will not be bound by the work of household. So every householder should listen to my pastimes and perform the chanting of the holy name. And we all who are in household life and we are listening to the Bhagavatam, so our idol is Srivas Pandit, and we had heard about his pastimes. You all have been listening with so much patience and love. So I'm really grateful to all of you. I especially want to thank the Vadukul family, Shri Bharat Bhai, Nayan Manjuri Mata, Vidur Prabhu, Vidurani Mataji, Purit Bhai, and Renuka Mataji. Because of your support, this Panchatatva Katha's sixth day, the days are passing by. 6 days have passed, and tomorrow is the conclusion, and we will discuss the last, that is Gadadhar Pandit. So let's conclude the session with Jajaka today's session.
श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की श्री कृष्ण